Thank you. Now, I've spoken here before, and on the Constitution, and Jack alluded to the task that's here before us. This is the most important election in New Hampshire history. Twice before, there has been a flip-flop in the legislature. 1818, 1819, and then again in 1871, 1873. Both of those flip-flops resulted in severe losses in liberty because of the loss of institutional memory. You lost your right to redress before the legislature regarding the judiciary, and in 1875 you lost your right to trial by jury in new types of civil cases by deceptions with the judiciary. Right now we're in the midst of another flip-flop. Both times it took 2 election cycles. The lesson to be learned is that when there's a flip-flop in the legislature, we have the power to redefine the political paradigm. It's within your grasp to restore constitutional government to New Hampshire. I've been up there for 10 years. For 10 years, I've been in the minority. Notice that. I'm a Republican. For 10 years, I've been in the minority. Hopefully, that will change. Hopefully, you will be electing a constitutional legislature who will enforce, on your behalf, enforce the Constitution of New Hampshire upon what I love to call the goobers in government. They're the people that you send up there. All power residing originally in and being derived from the people. Their officers and magistrates, the officers and magistrates of government are their agents and substitutes, and at all times accountable to them. You are in charge. You are the sovereigns. We're the servants. Warren is a servant. We're up there. When we're up there, we're not voting on our behalf. We're up there exercising the proxy that you have given us. It's important that you treat your vote with that value. Now, how will you know whom to vote for? Would you believe that this document tells you exactly how to choose your candidate? Part 1, Article 38. You have one, you got to open it up. Define a word for you, recur. It means to read, study, and discuss. Another word, ought. It's the moral imperative. It is a duty. A frequent recurrence to the fundamental principles of the Constitution. And justice, moderation, industry, temperance, and frugality are indispensably necessary to the preservation of liberty. If you don't have them, you don't keep it. The people ought, therefore, that's that moral imperative, the people ought, therefore, to have a particular regard to those principles in the selection of their officers and representatives. So when you're going around and somebody says, I want your vote, you have to say, do you know your Constitution? Do you know my Constitution? Can you quote me any articles? Can you tell me that you know you're going to be my servant? That's how you're supposed to choose your representatives and your magistrates, your officers, the governor. Frugality. Are you going to be careful with my money? This document is your handcuffs on those of us up in Concord. You, the people, have a right, this is continuing with that same Article 38, and they have a right to require of their lawgivers, that's Warren and I and others are hoping to join us, and their magistrates, that's everybody else, an exact and constant observance of them in the formation and execution of the laws necessary for the good administration of government. So when somebody comes in at the 11th hour with no public hearing and imposes an LLC tax that goes back from when it's passed to the beginning of the year, then you should know that this Constitution that says retrospective laws are always injurious and unjust. You can't do it.
30 seconds, Dan.
Okay? If any of you have any questions, I mean, I'm happy to discuss it with you. I have DVDs of my, or CDs of my commentary and a DVD of a class. I'd be happy to distribute. This particular edition, the brown one, it's important. This one has all the capitalization correct, unlike the previous editions. And that, my friends, is how you would know that the legislature does not have the power to define marriage. Thank you.